About 1:30, okay? I got some running to do. I got to go to my job and do that. I'm going to do that early. I'm going to lay down for an hour or two. Around about 11, I'm going to get up and go do what I need to do and come on back home. Okay. So then I'll just meet you here and we can go. Okay. Yeah. It won't come on. It ain't doing nothing. Bye. Hey, good morning. Good morning to you guys. Good morning. Ah, good morning, Sanja. Good morning, Amari. Good morning, Woke to God. Yes, good morning to you guys. Just finished walking. I feel good. Oh my God. I feel like I should walk too, but I'm too tired to walk this morning. I worked last night and I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. People are like, how are you exhausted? You don't do too much. No, I don't. No, I do not. But just trying to just, like all night I looked at videos, got a lot of information and everything. And that's pretty much it. Did a little bit of, work on the channel a little bit. I do now know one thing that's going to beef us up a little bit. So you guys will start seeing new people come in. And Lisa Taylor, good morning to you. Jackie Bartiz, good morning. Good morning, Jackie. So I'm just letting you guys know you will start seeing new people come into the channel where our algorithm has just picked up. I don't know what happened, but we've been struggling to get our algorithm up, and we're +1. We were a negative like 100 and something. Then, we've been slowly working on it. So we just got our algorithm up to +1. You could be tired. You had to, yeah. That's what makes me tired. Just staying up, making sure everything was okay. And I feel like I did a real good, decent job. Not only decent, I did a wonderful job. When I feel good about that, yeah, a +1, yeah. Yeah, when we can get a +1, that means we're moving forward now. We're not going backwards. We're not behind trying to catch up. We're not playing catch up. We are in the, what you call it, the green, because the red, the black. We're in the black light. I think the red is when you, let me think. When you're in the red, you're doing bad. So we're not, I think it's, but anyway, I think it was a red. But anyway, it was a plus. And that was a good thing. And I know it's a good thing because it's like, yeah, yes, we're moving forward. And I'm finally glad. Yes, it was like almost a whole year of we got pushed back. So now you guys, you're going to start seeing a lot of, not to mention that you run around the majority of the day. Then you work all night. Yep, I'm going to be running around today too. I'm going to run around today a little bit because there's some things I need to get done and take care of. And so one thing a day. That's what I tell people. When you got a lot on your plate, just eat one thing at a time. Just, you know how to clear your plate off? Just one thing at a time. You don't try to do it all in one day and exhaust yourself out. You set your goal and say, oh, okay, I need to go get my driver's license because they're getting ready to expire. So you go do that. Come on back home. Yeah, I know gas is very expensive. So you want to go, you want to hit 2 or 3 things. Go to the store while you're out because so when you take those runs, when you got to go do something, do 2 or 3 things. That way, like you won't, gas. See, your body barely gets any rest. Yeah, but I will get some rest because I am going to lay down this morning. I am going to lay down. To the people in the bushes, we see you. Hope that you hit the like button when you come in. Exactly. See your poor body. SP, your dedication is paying off. Our dedication. I think I think it's us. I think I think with us being, persistent and going, okay, look, we know it should be better, and what can we do to make it better? And everybody's pitching in and helping out and going places where, where I need them to go, or helping where I need them can help. 'Cause I'm going to be honest with you. There's no way in the world I can do this by myself. There's no way. There's no way in the world. Mm-mm. Hey, Angie, how you doing? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. And so, yeah. So, yes, it's us. I said in previous text, it takes a team. Yes, it does. And, sometimes we have to go on TikTok and then, because you never know where we're going to hit. We're going to hit pay dirt, you guys. We're going to hit pay dirt. This year, we're going to hit pay dirt. And you're going to just see I'm not only speaking it into existence. I know, because there's things that I didn't know about, and guess what? I know them now. So good morning, Freddie. Good morning to you. So we were talking about some stuff, and I wanted to tell you guys, like, I had got some more information about the young lady we were talking about that was in Atlanta, and I guess she lost it. And we talked about it yesterday in the live, and you know, that is a very bad tragedy. Someone said that the father of the children, he was on his way home from out of state. And so I learned that is the story. You guys, that's the story that's coming out. That he was in the car or in a vehicle on his way to the house. And when he got there, that's when all heck broke loose. Now, I don't know if she had already started doing what she was doing. They were in an argument or whatever. It seems to me there could have been an argument. But some people are saying that it was postpartum, So I'm going to go over a little bit of that, because we do have young ladies that are in our group still having babies, that are young enough to have babies. Not all of us is in our late 40s, 50s, and 60s. No, not all of us. Some of us is still having babies, and having a whole bunch of babies. So we were just talking about that this morning. And, like the Catholic faith, they don't believe in contraceptives. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but that's that in their belief. That's one thing that I know that they do not believe in. They don't recommend, condoms and birth controls and, whatever gel and the whatever thing. I can't even remember the thing, having the shots and all. They don't believe in none of that. So he says he's a Christian. Christians are Catholic. You guys understand that. I don't know what religion he's involved in, or the title. I won't say religion, but what faith he believes in. But so we're just following that case, because we don't know if it was really just depression, or was it she had that 3-month-old baby. Postpartum is real and should be taken serious. Yeah. Girl, you you girl, you gonna spell it like I said it. So she said, I just spelled it the way you said it. So, but anyway, uh,
Yes.
have a good day.
Yeah, you
I'll call you, okay?
too. Okay.
So, I want to share something with you because this will be, she said, I spelled it wrong. Girl, yeah. Yeah. There's another story that we're going to talk about. We'll talk about it Wednesday. Right, got it. You got it. Um, um, you guys, and this is the other story that we want to talk about. Wow. Um, um, it is going to be, let me make sure that, okay. Everybody's inviting me over. I don't think so. So, here, listen to this. People did point towards those flags and try to get. Okay. New question. Okay. So, this baby is named Chase. Okay? And I want you guys to understand that I really didn't want to talk about this case because it's already a done deal. But we're going to talk about this case because there's a lot to learn here. It's a 3-year-old that was found deceased in the freezer. The mother faces previous child abuse charges. But, I mean, the family was asking, begging CPS to step in and take the children. All right, woke to God. And, so they did everything. So, here's my thing. It's like, and the only reason why I want to speak on this, not really on the case itself, but it's like we're angry with CPS when they don't step in, or we angry with CPS when they overstep their boundaries. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a catch-22, you know? They dang if they do, or they dang if they don't. You know what I mean? Because people will turn around and say, CPS, this, that, and the other. But they have to go in there and revamp the whole program. And it's never going to be where everybody's satisfied. So, because if they take the kid, and that's what they were saying on the Classic and Sincere case, they dang if they do, they dang if they don't. Okay, we took the kids from the mom, so they had probable reason. The baby had 2 broken legs. That's what they're saying now. We didn't know about the 2 broken legs. I only heard about 1 broken femur. But all of a sudden now it's 2 broken legs. I don't know. But then, okay, you can't get a clear answer, or you don't know if the mom was really at work or the person is still in the home. So, um, do you give the kids back to the mama, or do you proceed? It's bigger than what we are equipped to handle as a society. Right. So listen to this. So everybody get an understanding what we're going to be talking about Wednesday, because we're going to talk about this case.
Today, following that gruesome discovery of a 3-year-old boy found in a freezer on Detroit's west side. Family members say CPS was called, but the kids were allowed to stay in that home. We're covering multiple angles here at 5 on this. Karen Drew has been working her sources on some of the warning signs that may have been missed here, but we're going to begin with Victor Williams, who's been speaking with family today. Victor.
Yes, Jason. Well, first off, these are some pretty horrible accusations, but as it turns out, this is not the first time that this mother has dealt with child abuse allegations. Back in 2018, 31-year-old Azure D. Miata France was charged with third-degree child abuse, which was later reduced to child abuse to the fourth degree. While the circumstances surrounding the charge are unclear, Azure D. served 2 years probation. Fast forward to the death of her son, Chase Allen, and relatives like Leslie Cannon say the signs were there all along.
It seems that there were red flags, and people did point towards those flags and try to get some help.
She claims other family members had to contact CPS themselves to intervene, leading to a change that was only short-lived.
CPS was called several times, and they were taken and they were brought back, and it was just something that they missed. So it's very unfortunate that you do the proper steps to try to get the children help, and obviously it looks like the system had failed Chase.
So now many are questioning why Chase was allowed to fall through the cracks of a system, especially given his mother's history.
Something went wrong somewhere in her past. Psychological evaluation, counseling, nothing could bring the baby back, but this is deeper than sentencing someone to prison.
It's just more unfortunate news for community activist Tamara Liberty Smith, who tried her best to help Azure D on many occasions.
I've offered to come and bring her things. She never will let me to the house. She will, I have to come to you.
Her biggest concern are the other kids who were inside the house with Chase from beginning to end.
They lived with this. They saw things that we couldn't even fathom.
And family members are telling me that the other children inside the home were between the ages of 9 and only 3 months old. But for now, we are going to go ahead and toss it over to Karen Drew, who has more insight of what may have happened inside that home. Karen?
Well, you know, Victor, you mentioned that family contacted CPS. So I did some digging, and I have confirmed information here that CPS was contacted 13 times. 13 times on this case. One time back in 2021, the child was brought to the doctor on allegations of abuse. They checked him out. They deemed he had no injuries, sent him right back to the home. I called CPS today. We demanded some answers. They don't want to talk on camera, but they issued a statement, and that said, in part, the department by law cannot release specifics about CPS investigations or confirm whether or not CPS has received complaints about a specific family or individual. Now, I was able to find out more about that home on the 12,000 block of Monte Vista. Sources telling me they went inside. The living conditions were simply inhumane. They saw roaches climbing on the walls, rodents on the floors, rotten food all over, garbage all over the furniture and the floor. I'm also learning a little bit more about the freezer. Apparently, it had not been working for the past few weeks. There was a liner in the freezer, but they're wondering the reason why they couldn't smell the stench of the decomposing body. It was because of those inhumane conditions inside the house. Karen Drew, Local 4 investigators, back to you.
It's so hard to imagine those children living in those conditions. Karen, thank you for your insight in that reporting there.
Okay, so that was 14 hours ago on that case, you guys. So here's 13 hours ago.
All right, now to a 3-year-old boy who police say was tortured and killed by his own mother. Family members want to know if it could have been prevented. Chase Allen's body was found last week, and his mother was charged over the weekend. Sources say she claims Chase had medical problems and that she put him in the freezer after finding him dead several months ago. Records show she already had a history of child abuse. 7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig is talking to relatives who wonder if this little boy could have been saved.
It's hard for anyone to understand the horrors of child abuse that went on inside this house, and allegations of child abuse are nothing new to the mother of 3-year-old Chase Allen.
We were hoping that her parental rights were getting taken away because you abuse one child, that means you abuse the rest of them.
Her sister is 31-year-old Azure Day France. The Detroit mom accused of putting her 3-year-old son Chase in a freezer. France has been arraigned on multiple charges, including murder, first-degree child abuse, and torture. And Action News has learned that it's not the first time she's been charged with felony child abuse. In 2018, France was charged with third-degree child abuse for what she did to her 2-year-old nephew. Doctors reported to CPS that the child's lips were swollen, his left eye was black, and there were injuries to his forehead, rib cage, and ankles.
And it looked like he was being fed animal food. Animal food. Yeah, like dog food.
WXYZ is showing France's arrest photos because of her prior case that resulted in her pleading guilty to misdemeanor child abuse. She was given 2 years probation, and relatives say her own children were removed, but CPS gave them back.
I honestly blame them, because if you abuse, they gave her kids back because they said that she didn't abuse her own kids.
But in 2021, Detroit police say CPS launched an investigation surrounding little Chase. His aunt says it was because he'd been burned, and his mom claimed he did it to himself.
He had third-degree burns, but it had kind of healed by then because he hid it for so long.
Doctors reportedly couldn't say the injuries were the result of child abuse, and CPS closed the case.
She said that he got burned by noodles. She said she set the noodles on the table, and she told him not to touch it, and when she came back, his hand was burned by the noodles.
Some of France's contacts with CPS for the past 6 years are detailed in records at the Lincoln Hall of Justice in Detroit. They include everything from physical abuse and neglect to improper supervision. CPS even said that the children are at risk of harm. In 2020, foster care workers said her issues are due to untreated mental health and postpartum depression.
She can't keep blaming this on postpartum depression. If that was the case, then stop having kids. Because you can't, every child that you have, you can't keep blaming all of your abuse and your problems on postpartum depression. If you feel that it was that, then maybe you should have seek help instead of abusing the kid.
In Detroit, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News.
Desperate pleas from a domestic violence victim.
Okay. So anyway, you guys, you know, she claimed postpartum depression. But one thing I don't think you guys know, or you do know, but you don't know the whole thing, which we don't know the whole thing, but know something more. The baby was blind, right? Everybody know that, right? The baby that was put in the freezer, that had the decomposed body in the freezer, was blind. Right? But they also said the reason why that baby was blind, they believe because of the mother. The baby wasn't born blind. Because of the abuse, the baby became blind. They just could not prove it. So that's something else you guys needed to know too. Hey Candy Richardson, how are you? Hey Tina Powers, what's going on? So you heard her sister was saying that the baby got burnt because of the noodles and this, that, and the other. I don't know if that was the situation where how the baby ended up getting blind or whatever, spilt the noodles on him or whatever, but I do remember reading some more information about that. But here's the thing. It's like, you know why I show you guys this? Because people, you know, especially in these chat rooms, and when we're talking about, you know, these children, do not get fooled because you a mama and then you see a woman having a baby and you think she's a mama. She is the mother. She's the one that had the child. You know, she went into labor and birthed that child out. But there's a difference between a mother and a person that is just birthed a child, you know. Sometimes it is postpartum, but sometimes, yeah, she just only birthed that child. And when that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to read up on a little bit of that. But I wanted to share with you, please don't look at a woman and get mad because another woman tries to tell another woman. Basically, that's what you're supposed to do. Fix that woman's crown. Don't sit there and be like, she's a woman, I'm a woman, so it makes it all right. No, it do not. It do not. If you want to fix her crown, tell her where she's wrong at, and she will correct it. If she doesn't correct it, then yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was trying to help this woman fix her crown, but they didn't fight hard enough. I just believe they didn't fight hard enough, you know? Make more calls, make more calls. If you see the kids still wasn't out, you know, make more calls or whatever, you know? So, and I look at this and I go, everybody, why you after the mama? I am not after no mama. I'm just stating what information that we have and take a look at it all. You know? Because mamas do, women, and I'm just talking to the women. If there's any men in here, I don't know. But if you look back into your having kids and you had your kids, at some time, if you have more than one, now one is, you know, one is doable. When you have two or more and they're toddlers at the same time, it is very overwhelming. Very, very, very overwhelming. Some people can deal with it and some people cannot. And so one thing that I continue to remember on the Cody Bigsby case, the sister said, ask her why she have all those children. Asked her why she had all those kids. And I'm going to say this. When I look at my life, and I can only look at my life, and I say, you know, I dated this guy, and he wanted more kids. I already had kids, and they wasn't his kids, but I already had kids. I didn't want no more kids. I went and got my tubes tied. And he started fooling around with this girl, and I guess he told her, I want to have a baby, or she said, I'll give you a baby or whatever. They laid up, had a baby. When she got pregnant, he acted a plumb fool. And he basically, we fought. I didn't know what we was fighting about. I think it was, we didn't go to the movies and he wanted his money back and he spent my money, but then he wanted his money and it was going to be the end of the day. And I said, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to spend my money on your beer and then you got your money in your pocket and we didn't even go to the movies. Now, enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? We fought that night or that day. By the time we made it to the house, he, you know, he was like, I'm leaving. I'm like, okay. But you know what? I don't have to look back because I know what happened now, so I could tell you. I didn't know at the particular time he had another woman pregnant. And he wanted to raise that child. You guys understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that this is the case with Cody, but that's why I get some of my understanding by only what I've went through. I can't understand something I ain't went through. That's why we all have different opinions and we have to respect other people's opinions of what they think happened or, you know, and then as we move closer to the case, you can say, okay, such and such said this, or such and such said that. I remember SP said this. I remember Sally said this. I remember Tina said that. Lisa Taylor said that. Freddie said this. Sonia Watts said that. You know, Cherie said this. Miss Dee Dee said that. Crystal said this. Margie said that. And if you don't, you know, they'll be in the chat and they'll be like, you guys remember I said this or said that. Like on the California City Boys. you know. Actually, when we got done with that case, I said, I basically came on. I said, you guys quit texting me, talking about look at the video and show, trying to show me this and show me that. Those kids was not there. And I didn't want to talk about it no more. I said I will only talk about it if there's updates. Other than that, I didn't want to talk about it no more. And it didn't have nothing to do with me. We all had already stated what we thought. People were telling me the kids was at the store. People were telling me the kids, gang members and things in there involved and all this other stuff. And I had made my conclusion. And everybody had already made their conclusion. They wasn't moving on what they thought. So therefore, okay, let's see what happens. You know? So it helped us to understand also when we can go back and look and who said what, who sometimes can come up with common sense instead of just trying to be with the crowd. A lot of people just want to be with the crowd. Oh, the crowd says this, and so the crowd says that. You know, I'm just not with the crowd. Yeah. So anyway, let me look up this postpartum. We won't be here long. Oh, my stomach is trying to kill me. I'm gonna have to chill, lay it down or something. Oh, that's a cute baby. Oh, he's a cutie. He's a cute baby. He really is. He actually looks like Sincere. Postpartum definition.
Here's the definition of postpartum. Following childbirth or the birth of young.
Hold on. I need to pull up a little bit. Hey, sexy grandma, how you doing? I guess I'm just not going to find what I'm looking for. Nevertheless. Oh, there it is. Okay. So. Okay, got it. Hey, Gloria, good morning to you. Hey, Candy, what's going on? How long is a postpartum period? Let's see what they say. The first 6 weeks after. They said postpartum is usually the first 6 weeks. 6 weeks is a month and 2 weeks. That's 4 weeks and 2 weeks. So the first 6 weeks after giving birth is called the postpartum period. During the postpartum period, the mother experienced several changes, including physical and emotional changes. This can be a difficult time for the woman, especially if it is her first child. So postpartum is really not the kid is 3 years old, the kid is 3, 4, 5 months old. It says the first 6 weeks after giving birth. I'm pretty sure it can last a little bit longer, but it ain't going to last a lot more. What is postpartum called now? Okay. But for women with peripartum, formerly postpartum depression, it can become very distressing and difficult. Peripartum depression refers to depression occurring during pregnancy or after childbirth. Okay. Is postpartum hereditary? 2 genes were most highly correlated with the development of postpartum depression, TTC9B and HP1BP3, predicted with 85% of certainty which women became ill. Okay? So we're looking at what is postpartum blue? Postpartum blue are defined as low mood and mild depressive symptoms that are transient and self-limited. Depressive symptoms include sadness, crying, exhaustion, irritability, anxiety, decreased sleep, decreased concentration, and mood swings. So I'm going to go up a little bit. So, hold on. Postpartum definition.
Here's the definition of postpartum. Following childbirth or the birth of young.
So I want to go more off into the postpartum period begins immediately after childbirth as the mother body include hormones levels and uterus size returns to a non-pregnant state. The terms perium or period or immediate postpartum periods are commonly used to refer to the first 6 weeks following childbirth. So a lot of people want to say it's postpartum. She said, I will look that up, Margie. Oh, okay. I don't know what's been said. So overview on the postpartum period. Let's just look at it a little bit, you guys. Just a little bit. Always good to, you guys know we'll get definitions and stuff. You got to know what you're talking about instead of just saying some stuff. So people come in here and they be like, y'all tripping. She was in postpartum. Okay, hold on. There was a child in the house that was 3 months, but she just took out this 3-year-old. And it don't define, you know what I'm saying? This is why when people go to court, they're wondering why they get the books thrown at them because they're not in the 6 weeks period. You know what I'm saying? I have been very blessed. I never had it, and I have always had a support system. Well, you know what? I believe at one time when I had my children, and they were, they was not young like that. I got a little depressed after having them, but I really got depressed. They were not 6 weeks. My their dad wasn't there, nobody to help. I got depressed, I lost my job, car was, I got overwhelmed, like how these kids is dependent on me. What am I going to do? Like nobody don't want me. Am I going to be a loser? I think about stuff like that, but then, what helped me get through some things, I always had faith in God. And I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm not perfect. I'm just saying, that helped me, I be at home by myself, sit there and start praying to God and trying to get some understanding, open up that book and praying to Him and just trying to get some understanding. Like, why am I going through all of this? Like, wow, I really understand why people don't want to bring children up in this world. Because here I am, don't have a job. I don't know how I'm going to keep a roof over my kid's head, let alone get a job, Like, if it was just me, I can go get on somebody's couch for the day. Or, I can go sleep in a sleeping bag at the park. But I got 2 kids. I don't want to just hand somebody my kids. Why don't they hand me a helping hand and help me? And then people get tired of, they really don't fit in that category of just wanting to check and, they just see themselves as helpless. I trust and believe we all don't want to be in agreement with this, and I understand, and I truly do, you guys. But the person that helped you make that baby, you feel bad. Like, I wasn't the only one in the bed having this hey. So why do they be able to get up and walk away and all the responsibilities come on me? You know? So here's the definition of postpartum by the medical dictionary. And it becomes overwhelming that you are the only one. Here we go. How do I know if I have postpartum depression and how can I get help? Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Ebel. I'm 27 years of age. I gave birth to a beautiful female baby 3 months before. I had depression before I had her, and now I think I have postpartum. How do I know if I have postpartum depression and how can I get help? It says, if you feel you are not enjoying things you usually do, if you sit in a gloomy state at home, and your child and maybe even wanting to harm him, and you are overwhelmed, fatigue, insomnia, loss of appetite, all this can lead to postpartum depression. But there's also a normal phenomenon that is called the baby's blues, which lasts a few days or weeks. That looks the same but also shows mood swings and lighter symptoms than postpartum depression. How to help someone with depression after pregnancy. My son's friend just had a baby, weeks old. Already the girlfriend is in major depression and refuses to take her medication. The man is afraid to leave the baby. What should he do? After years of making myself and my family crazy, I got some goats and learned how critical minerals are to the normal functions of bodies and brain. Did you know even goats can get PPD? Well, I didn't either, but found the solution was an adequate supply of minerals. I have come to understand most brain disorders have everything to do with a lack of copper, which all are modern technologies in artificial fertilizers and processing of foods. The food has become so depleted of minerals that our bodies and brains have become so depleted that we cannot even function properly. Start taking kelp, calcium, magnesium, cod liver oil, flaxseed oil, and raw apple cider vinegar. This will bring healing and normal functions to the brain and body systems. The emotions will calm down and be more manageable. If you are taking a vitamin with more magnesium than copper, it will add to the dysfunction. Don't waste your money. So what they're saying is, you're okay. It's almost like when you have a baby. I can tell you what they're talking about. I don't even have to read no more. I'm just gonna break it down in layman's terms because when I read stuff like this, I get it really quick. And you guys will get it too. When you have a baby, the baby depletes a lot of your vitamins and stuff. And now you're off balance. That's why they give you prenatal vitamins. Because that baby's taking everything out of you. That's why when you have babies, then you got perfect teeth. After you have babies, then your teeth start rotting and breaking off and getting cavities and spreading apart and stuff, and your hair falls out most of the people hair grow. But some people, their hair falls out and they gain that weight and then they start, they're off balance. You're completely off balance because everything that your body normally gets to make it, your baby gets it. You don't get it. You get maybe 3%, and the baby gets the 97 to 98%. So, one thing I can tell you without getting in trouble is, okay, even though that after you have the baby, long hair and long nails. But remember, long hair and long nails don't come because you're having a baby. Actually, your hair and your nails is already dead. Okay? It is. So what I'm saying to you, and they actually grow when you die. You know what I'm saying? Guess why? Guess why? Because your body is actually basically without the vitamins that it needs. That's why your stuff grows like that. Okay? So the prenatal vitamins that you took before you got pregnant, continue to take them. It will help. It will help. You just don't know how much it will help. I'm not going to tell somebody to go get, because one thing about vitamins, and this is what they were kind of saying there, and a lot of people don't know this. If you look at your daily vitamin, the amount that you're supposed to take daily for it to be balanced, it is basically perfect for a human being, okay? What I'm saying, if they say that you're only supposed to have 20 milliliters or 20 milligrams, I'm sorry. I don't want to say milliliters, because milliliters only means that the difference from milliliters and milligrams is one is a solid and one is a liquid. You guys understand what I'm saying? Milliliters is solids, liquid. Just remember, milliliters is liquid form. Everybody following me? Milligram is solid. It's a pill. That's the only difference. That's why they have to do conversions. So you can have aspirin in a milliliter. Like a baby can't take a pill, an aspirin pill. So they have, you know what I'm saying? Milliliters. So like if they have to take Tylenol, that's when you get the liquid. But when you get grown and you can swallow a pill, that's why we have pills. That's the only thing difference. I know a lot of people did not know that when I went into nursing school. I didn't know the difference from milliliter. So you might have 100 milliliters in liquid, and they say convert it to milligrams. Well, then you've got 100 milliliters, milligrams, okay? Unless they say milliliters is 5 milliliters equals such and such. They'll give you the conversion, and then that's how that's the formula. That's how you figure out the formula. It's math. It's really simple. There's certain ways you can remember it. I don't remember it, but I don't have to figure that stuff out, because anytime that if the doctor gives me an order saying give this baby 2 Tylenols, and the baby is like 3 months, or say the baby is like a year old, but he don't swallow good, I can't give that baby 2 Tylenol pills. Now I can crush it with a crusher and mix it in some applesauce. You feel me? So we gonna get it done. But it's just best to go to the pharmacy and ask them to put it in liquid instead of in the pill. You guys understand what I'm saying? So anyway, when taking the vitamins, before you have the baby, your body is not going to just snap back just because you done had a baby. You know what I'm saying? You done carried this baby for 9-10 months. You got to take them vitamins for 9 to 10 months. It's just like anything else. You cannot just not stop taking it because the baby's out. And that's what people do. They forget, they don't continue to take it, and they just thinking, oh, the baby's out, I don't need to take it no more. Do you not know your body's been without those vitamins for 10 months and depleted it? So, come on now. And you know how women think. They done had this baby, they out of shape, they got this bubble in the front of them. They've been wobbling around. They thought it was cute at the first part, but then, they overwhelmed because they can't see their feet, and their feet is swollen, and they can't put on the shoes, and they can't wear nothing, and they crying, and they look a hot mess. They sweating all underneath and all this other stuff. They just miserable. And in your body, you don't feel all sexy anymore, and then you got stretch marks now, and so, emotionally, you are very just out of the world. I just want people to remember where they came from, where they been. You know what I'm saying? And it just takes one thing to go wrong. Somebody tell you with your fat self. Somebody to say, your hair nappy. Somebody to say, you got a ring around your neck. Because normally when you deplete your body, yeah, those things happen. Your face turns sometimes different colors. Your neck turns sometimes different color. You can't wash your body like you normally wash. It just don't. You can go take a shower and still feel stinky. You guys understand what I'm saying? You know, so you feel undesirable when and it's all because you've had this baby. Some people, when you have someone to help you go through the pregnancy, I guarantee you it is a beautiful thing. Now, the only thing I can tell you is the reason why I know that. No, my kid's father, neither one of them was with me when I had both of my children. But there was a young gentleman that I dated when I was having my son. And he wanted me to tell people that it was his child. No, I wasn't going to tell people it was his child because when it came down to it, I didn't want to fight with the daddy. Because I had already told him, you got a baby coming, and I don't know how this happened, but it's coming. And he was like, the devil is a lie. And so therefore, okay. But, that don't mean I wasn't going to stop dating because, see, nobody could tell I was pregnant. So I dated the guy. Next thing I know, I couldn't work anymore because I was just being like, I was just so, I couldn't even believe I was pregnant again, and I didn't know how. And my family gave me so much crap about it because I done already messed up once. You know what I'm saying? You guys don't understand my family. You know what I'm saying? They looked at me very bad. It's kind of like throw me away because I'm doing too much. And, I can't even explain it to you guys. I just can't even explain it. I'm the only girl. So with all these boys saying, you just out here just sleeping around, laying around, and I mean, you're embarrassing. And it wasn't that kind of party. But, so the gentleman, we ended up, and I'll tell y'all the story how we ended up, but not today, staying together. And, he went to work, and, he opened up the door, and he made sure I had the ice cream, and he rubbed my belly, and, he rubbed my feet, and, he made sure my hair looked okay, and everybody thought it was his baby, and he didn't mind holding my hand, and, and he, bring me flowers, and, and paid the bills, and, I mean, you know what I'm saying? He wanted to be a father, but it wasn't his child. He wanted me to say it was his, but it wasn't his. But anyway, it totally different from having my first child. I didn't get none of that. But my first child was different because I wanted that child. We planned for that child. I didn't plan for the second one. So different, when you have different things, then different things happen. How you going to handle it? If you change the ingredients in making a cake, it's not going to be the same. I can tell you guys right now to put 3 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of vinegar or table salt in the cake. If you go in there putting 5 eggs, 3 glasses of milk, 2 cups of flour, you change the ingredients, you're going to get a different result. It's definitely going to be a cake, but it's going to be maybe a different kind of cake. You guys understand? Nobody's situation is going to be the same. Nobody's. One thing my mother told me is not to have a whole bunch of kids. She says, don't do it. I listened to my parents, and after I had 2, I said, that'll do it. Some people, like my daughter, she said 1 child, that'll do it. I don't believe my son is done right now. I think, he's going to get another one. I think he wants Pooh Bear to get a little older. But you know what I'm saying? But to have a whole bunch of children and you're not married, or, you know, you may think that that person's going to be with you forever, and you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kids, 4, 5 different daddies and all this other stuff. You be like, woo, that's what I just didn't want. I was like, I am done. So by the time I ended up getting married, my first marriage, my husband was like, I want to have kids with my wife. Well, I can't have kids with you because I got my tubes tied. He was ready to get them untied. You guys, I'm telling you, I was just like, no, I'm not finna get them untied because I'm looking at how you don't even take care of the kid that you got over there. I'm doing all of that. So I learned how to look at situations and give it some time. You know, but I'm hoping this help people make decisions before they get out and get themselves like, oh, it's a perfect thing to go out and adopt. I tell people, if you can have your own kids, it's best to have your own kid. Wait for it. If it's meant for you to have kids, you have kids. If you hit the age of about 40 and not have kids, okay, then start considering to adopt. Do not adopt while you're young enough to have babies. Because here's the problem. Them kids do not have nothing of what you have. Like, they're not going to have your smile, your looks, things that happens to them, or the things that just automatically comes with them, you guys. You're not going to understand it. It's going to be like, you're just not going to understand. It's like, where did that baby get this from? You think that you can mold that baby. But there are a lot of things, even sometimes the way they smile and look and laugh. It comes from their family members, their biological parents. It just do. That's why sometimes these women will look at a baby and that baby, and they say, you look just like your daddy. They get all mad again. Because the baby looks like the daddy. Or you look like your mama. Is that a bad thing to look like what I came from? She said, oh, Lord, I'm married, but this is it, Jesus. Candy, you are fine. You, girl, you in La La Land. You just happy. You loving your husband. You know, you okay. You okay. She said, girl, I don't know if that's it. You might look at that man again, and then you be like, coming next year talking about, and there's another one. I got another one coming. But you guys understand what I'm saying? When these women, when the relationship don't work, who else? Yeah, who else am I supposed to look like? Yeah. And these women get angry. Sometimes it's just not postpartum, you guys. I'm just telling you. It's because the woman is very angry because the child is acting like that person, looking like the person, talking like the person, or they want to be with the person. Like, say, for instance, Pooh Bear. Let's just use him as an example. Pooh Bear is connected to his dad all day long. And people be like, I've never really seen a father in a child's life before. So it just amazes me how my son is like, I'm going to be there. He's like, I don't want to be like my dad. His dad was in his life, but his dad was in another state. You know what I'm saying? And shows up, for Christmas and birthday and this, that, and the other, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. He wasn't there every day taking him to the football game because he wanted to play football. And the other kids laughed because he couldn't catch. He didn't have nobody that help him, tie his shoe, learn how to ride a go-kart, motorcycle, shoot guns, and drive a car. Mama had to teach him all of that. Mama had to teach him all of that. You guys, we had to be the mama and we had to be the daddy. For those of you that the man wasn't in there. Some of you kind of, stuck in there for the kids. Put it like that. Because some people be like, I've been married for 30-some years or whatever. Yeah. Tell me about all the heck you done went through and the Hades you done had to live through. Because I'm telling you, it ain't easy. It's not easy. So I understand, but I do also understand when the man say, have compassion for his wife. But I know there's some guilt there. I know there's some guilt there. Why I know there's some guilt there? Because 3 children is dead. And you talking about compassion? Hold on. I know you're a Christian, but hold on. You know, you guys said it in the chat. You guys need to be getting some therapy. You guys need to get, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't, matter of fact, something like that happened. I couldn't even be out of bed talking on the news. You had to scrape me up off the floor. Everybody be like, SP, get up. I'd be like, no, carry me to the bed. And I just want to lay there and just cry because I got no words to say to God right now. And I've been there before where you just cry and you moan. And he understands you. You just, oh Lord. And you can't even speak. You just can't even speak. Something that tragic. I wouldn't be sitting there talking about there's a GoFundMe and we need shoes and socks. And, you know, because what? Did you tell this woman you was going to leave her and all 6, 7 of these kids? And even though that's not a crime, and she just had this 3-month-old baby? I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not blaming nobody, you guys. I'm just saying that's how relationships happen. That's how relationship happens. When there is and I'm just saying, this is why we look at people's characteristics. I'm not blaming nobody or anything. I'm just saying, look at the characteristics and weigh in on it, because we will hear more and more and more. You know? But there was probably something of maybe some cheating going on and some distance, or somebody was going to leave somebody. And that's when things snap. I don't think it was just postpartum, because postpartum is 6 weeks after your pregnancy. Okay? Something. And that's why we, educate yourself as you go on in life when you're making decisions of what you want to believe and how you want to help somebody. And, don't just ride with everybody because, oh, she's a woman and, oh, it's postpartum. Just like the sister said. Okay, you keep having these kids. If you think it's postpartum, then why you keep having these kids? When does it stop? Why every time when you act a fool, you want to get up there and cut up somebody's tires and do this and fight with them? Why do it have to be postpartum? And we're trying to get your kids help or whatever. Exactly. It's soon after pregnancy. And people be like, it's not designated as that. It can go longer as P, and it's not factual, and, blah, 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 blah. I'm just telling you, okay? Statistics says, as they do it, significantly, the numbers outweigh what you're thinking. I'm not saying it's not possible that she can have postpartum after 3 months, because she can. She can have postpartum after, 4 or 5 years, if need be, if she's still in that mindset. And like I said, a pin dropped the wrong way and she's mad all over again. It only takes one little thing. Like, people just be right there on the edge. Right there on the edge. And one thing can happen, She baking a cake and the kids running through the house and the cake fall and all heck hit the fan. Somebody can call you and say a bill is due and you don't even know how to pay it. Now everybody in the house is in trouble because I have been there, you guys, and the depression when it hits, you're thinking that you're making it, you're getting somewhere, and you're thinking to yourself, this person just left me. My job, I done lost my job. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've got 2 kids looking at me like baby birds, always got the mouth open like eat, eat, eat. I got to get them up, clean them up. I'm combing hair when I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to get my next nickel from to pay the bills. But here, before I can even think about paying the bills or getting a job or asking for some help, I got to make sure this child takes a shower. This child, make sure, like I said, when there's more than one, you got to make sure food is on the table, baths are done, homework is done. You got grown kids, starting their menstrual cycles. You got boys liking girls, talking crazy. You got a lot of stuff going on. She had kids from 14 only down to 3 months. Can you just imagine? I can't. I could see my mama. And my mother told me, don't ever do it. My mother had a hard time. And so I think a lot of people blame it on postpartum. And it's just literally, basically overwhelming doing it alone. Okay? You took the words right out of my mouth, Sanja. Overwhelming and doing it alone. And that's the main thing. So when you see somebody needing help and then they edgy and agitated, buying them a donut, just sitting there letting them talk, sometimes help. Because they ain't going to tell you everything. They ain't going to tell you he didn't come home. They ain't going to tell you he got a girlfriend. They ain't going to tell you, he got another baby on the way. They ain't going to tell you he messing around with the woman next door. They ain't going to tell you all that. Because they're embarrassed. They ain't going to tell you he's sleeping with the girlfriend. They ain't going to tell you that. Or he ain't bringing home the money. They ain't going to tell you that. Because when you start telling people, your dirt and your dirty laundry, you know what happens. They use it against you. And women have learned that other women, as soon as they get mad, they be like, I'm just going to tell, why you say that your husband, ding dong, is no longer than 2 inches. They say it right in front of your man. Why you playing and you cheated? You was with Rodney last week. You remember when you said that you were gonna go get that new bundle, and yeah, he paid for it, and they be just and you be like, your man be sitting there like, oh my goodness, and then you gonna say that your husband check can't even pay the water bill. And you be like, hold on, baby. That man be like, oh, really? Now, see, she mad and she tearing up your stuff. So this is why a lot of women can't come to another woman and say, hey, you know what? My partner is cheating. My partner didn't come home. My partner bought another woman a car. My partner hit me. My partner, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Because anybody that you tell is subject to make matters worse. So, trying to get help, you got to go outside of your friends in your circle, especially your family, like your mom, your dad. Because once you tell them what he or she done did, they don't forget. When y'all trying to make it work, they sitting there, girl, I would never be with him because he did this and he did that. So Yeah, this is why we don't speak about it. So when people don't want to go to counseling, or and there's counseling all across the United States, especially at these schools, you guys, that they're training these kids that's in these colleges. You can call the school. It's free. Did you hear what I said? It's free. You could call the colleges, and they have people that's in these programs that's going to be a psychiatrist and psychologist, and you can go up there, and sometimes they go by your income. If you ain't got no income, then guess what? Then you don't pay nothing. And a lot of these things are like that. I was surprised. Actually, when I was going through some things with my, just keeping like a custody battle, I felt my son needed to have some counseling because there was a tug of war. So he was getting attention, and he was having his way. And I want him to be happy here. He wanted him to be happy there. He was playing, oh, well, daddy said I can have this. And I said, well, no, you can't. And I want to be with my daddy. And I mean, it was a back and forth thing. So I believe that he needed counseling because it was hard on the child. You see what I'm saying? And I was like, at this time, I'm laid off. So I went to find some counseling for my child. Because I know that it's going to be a hard thing for him to deal with. For someone to talk to him and get his feelings out there. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not going to tell me, well, Mom, I don't want to be with you. I want to be with Dad. He's not going to tell his dad, well, I want to be with my mother. But when he's mad at us, that's when he would use it or whatever. And it would hurt our feelings. And that we mad at each other and we fight hard or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? So if your child needs some help, get your child some help also. Anyway, you guys, those are the things that I was thinking about all last night. And I know there's some people, you go, oh, this didn't help me at all. But it did. I'm just going to tell you how it helped you. It may not have helped you because your kids are grown like my kids are grown. But the things that you tell your children, it will help you to guide them in the right direction. And always look for God first for all your answers. And open up that book. Also, let me share this with you before we get off of here. Because on my way home, I always thought that the babies that was born in the 90s, in the 80s, the late 80s, in the 90s, something's going on. But if you actually was, in your right state of mind, you did okay. Really look at your kids. They may not be millionaires. They may not be the president or doctors or whatever. But they're not in jail. They're not dead. And they're not out robbing people. Be blessed. You guys have a good day.